Welcome to Lost Cavern! We have a bit of a show match going on here with the Captain's Clash. So this is basically like this is a single map that we're now playing. There's a bit of prize money on the line, just I think it's like $200 or something. And it's played as a bit of a bridge between the loser bracket final that we just had and the grand final. So we are playing on Lost Cavern, but it's not really an ARAM game. They're still drafting. There's a couple of draft rules where they have to at least draft one tank. They can't go completely bananas. So the whole idea is to still have a fairly standardized draft, but played out on a one-lane map. That's the whole thought process here. Team Nintori is going to play against Team Madara in this. And it should be kind of interesting. It would probably have been a little bit weird to have like a single map ARAM because the luck factor is just a little bit too big. Missing out on the ban over here though. Okay, so I'm not quite sure if they really wanted to ban anything, but yeah. Quick ban, by the way, on Mephisto. If it's a one-lane map, you obviously have to go for a very different approach than if you're roaming lanes, if you're not rotating around, and you have to really think, hey, what is the biggest death push that possibly could happen to us? I don't dislike the concept there. Alarak gets banned as well. Let's see if Team Madara is at least now banning something out. So this one-lane concept is kind of fun. I mean, we had ARAM tournaments before. If you haven't seen them yet, there are playlists on my YouTube channel where we have actual ARAM tournaments where there are certain rules around it as well. So a team can, for example, after the game gets started and they see what everybody has, they can say like, nope, we just veto and we go for the next one. It's only a certain amount of vetoes that you get, so there's some rules around ARAM competition. But yeah, it is kind of fun. This is a little bit different though. Now, Abatha gets banned out as well. The slug is gone. And yeah, what are the ban priorities here? I don't think I've ever seen a draft for a single lane map so far. So this is still pretty new. And they go Suljin. Thrall is pretty big as well. If you go Trash Lightning, Thrall is massive. But Suljin, he's kind of the king of ARAMs. Suljin with stacking, you go Arcanite Axis, you try to get quick stacks, and he is an absolute monster. So Suljin as a very early first pick makes perfect sense here. There's a couple of arguments to be made for, I don't know, go Sergeant Hammer, but not the same. Suljin is just a bit too crazy. Like, late game stacking is crazy good. Zarya and Stukov, okay, fair enough. I'm still thinking Thrall here for one of the teams. Again, Trash Lightning Thrall is gigantic here. You are more or less guaranteed that you complete the quest, and then you can just poke. So there's tons that you can do with that. Now with Suljin, you have a couple of options right now, of course, how you want to play him. Do you want to go full hyper carry with him with a double support? They go Auriel already, so it seems a little bit like that. And they get Garrosh as well. So, yeah. Auriel for the quick heals, keeping opponents at bay with a quick whip. And this is getting real dangerous. If you, again, Suljin is the king of ARAMs, just hands down. That's just simply what it is. And with Zarya now claimed, I mean, normally when you're looking at Zarya, you're thinking Garrosh Zarya as a combo. But they wanna just bully everything with her. I'm not quite sure if this is gonna work for them. It is a pretty decent strategy too, though. She gives you sustain, you're consistently in a team fight, so that can be pretty big. But what do they pair it with for damage? That's my big question. Because Vala gets banned out, it was I mean, I don't want to say it was obvious, but it was definitely one of the higher priority bans now for Team Nintori, for sure. And I would assume that Team Madara was also fairly aware that this is a possibility at least. Mephisto, Alarak, Vala all banned out, so a bit of a moment of truth here. Stitches and Cassia. Yeah, Cassia is interesting now. I mean, she has been buffed a little bit, and if you go for Q on level 1, we've seen a ton of damage done by other players. And still, or at least I was still wondering what they could possibly do with another frontliner there as well. A triple frontline, and then Cassia is the only one from ranged. Well, Zarya obviously can also like dish out some range damage, but it's not quite the same. Are we getting Thrall though? Is anybody coming in with Green Jesus here? Come on, boys, get that Trash Lightning. Alexstrasza, there's your double support, and they go Chen. I personally am a Thrall boy when it comes to Lost Caverns, or when it comes to ARAMs in general. That's definitely a big one. As it stands, though, this is still very good to protect Suljin, which is all that you want to do here. You have a double support, you have Chen, you have Garrosh, you have a lot of displacement, you can keg it up, and then Suljin, he's going to be the one that needs to carry it into the late game. So, Caesar Salad, final pick for our little show match here. We get a double support from them as well. Anna is in the house, ladies and gentlemen, and we are headed for Lost Cavern. And we're in Lost Cavern, Team Madara against Team Nintori, everybody. So, Madara on Cassia, we got Ultralisk on Stitches. So they switched it up with the roles as well. Nas is playing Zarya, Legacy on Stukov, and Caesar Salad is playing Anna. For Team Nintori, we got Nintori himself on Alexstrasza, Nan on Oriel, so the double support also on the red team side. With Arion on Garrosh, we got Sven on Chen, and more importantly, Iptings is playing Suljin. So, Recklessness as the level 1 choice, and off we go. How much can they do here to keep Suljin alive, stack him up, and then absolutely destroy everything? That's a weird timing for pause. I mean, honestly, the only excuse that at this point I will let slide is if somebody dropped, and that doesn't seem to be the case. So, unless your dog peed on your keyboard, your cat ate a cable, or something else like this, this is just not okay. We got stack talents, by the way. Just mentioning this real quickly before we check what's going on with them. We have Thunderstroke now on level 1. I talked about this earlier, but you can get this heavily stacked, of course, in the game. And when we talk about Suljin, it's all about you want Axe. This is the big one. This is really the one when you want to make sure that you are getting enormous amounts of damage out. And normally what you will also see in an ARAM or on a one-lane game is that you have Arcanite access at level 7, because that double swing, you're guaranteed to get tons of stacks on it too, and just absolutely crush opponents. So, as is, already a couple of hooks are coming out, and all eyes on, I suppose, Cassia's stacks and Suljin's stacks. That's basically it. These two will dominate a lot of what's happening here. That's already guaranteed. And Cassia could honestly start to rival things, because we have 2 supports and Zarya behind her. I mean, adding Zarya to this too, that's a lot of sustain. Bit of an opportunity lost, by the way, by not using Stitches and Alexstrasza on the same team. Circle of Life would have mapped extremely well with him going into Hungry for More. One of my favorites when we're talking about one-lane maps. That's always fun. You have all the globes around on the map, and then you have that on top of that too, so yeah, that's actually a lot. But again, for now, what we get is a bit of a siege up here. Not a lot of brawling and not a lot of stacks because of it. So it's Cassia that gets some hits in. Suljin, he's still waiting. Things will get a bit easier for him, of course, after he hits the 15 stacks, because he gets range increase as a reward. And that's the kind of play that they need. Flip somebody over into the team, and then Suljin can get some auto attacks in. But he's also being put to sleep by Anna real quickly. That's never really good. I get some hits together. Doesn't have level 7 yet, but those Arcanite axes later, they could be pretty powerful for them. So, Cassia, on the other hand, she's stacking quickly. Cassia is stacking very, very quickly. She's already at 16 stacks right now. Suljin has barely 2. And is finally able to work a few more auto attacks in, so good for him. But it's going to take him a while, for sure. And Cassia has an 18. Honestly, the more that I look at this, I really want to see what Cassia ends up with in that situation. She could get scary as hell. With that much sustain, she is a huge threat. Gets caught there though. Might actually fall. Madara, careful. And gets out. But that allowed Suljin to get a lot of stacks now. He went from just barely to up to 6 now. And as I said before, once they're hitting 15, he at least gets that range increase, which is making things even easier. And on top of that, they are the ones pushing through structures now. One of the problems that you have in just these ARAM maps is, of course, that once those forts are destroyed, you just can't heal anymore. You can't heal at the Nexus here. You can't just simply hearth back and then heal. So you have very limited amount of resources to get your hit points and mana back. So forts matter a whole lot here. Because once those forts are gone, your fountains are gone too, and that limits things so much more for you. 27 stacks for Cassia. 3 minutes into the game. Not bad. If that continues, she could get totally out of control. She is currently not top damage in the game. It's still Suljin. But she could definitely get a lot more done as the game continues. Obviously jumping a little bit ahead of ourselves. With level 7, I'm also a bit curious if we're actually going to get Arcanite access. Sometimes when we're talking about these games, they have very different ideas of what they think should be prioritized. But at least from my vantage point, it would help them to make him this massive killer machine in the late game. 9 stacks now on the baseline, so slowly getting closer to the range increase too. Good body blocking here as well. Suljin still working it in. There's our first blood as Zarya falls. And Arcanite access have indeed been picked up. Suljin is at 16 stacks and is getting the first few for his level 7 talent as well. This is where things are starting to get a bit crazy. Honestly, personally, even with the stacking on Cassia, I still don't see a way how you can beat Suljin in a one-lane map environment. So they have to prove that it's somehow possible, because currently I just don't see it. Look how quickly he's stacking his level 7. He was at 9 stacks a moment ago, and now this one hit that just connected with nearly the entire team allowed him to go up to 17. And he's getting more and more and more. As Suljin continues, this is just going to get crazy. It's amazing to me that Suljin wasn't banned. Like, how is that possible? Honestly, at this point, you can already accuse the blue team of griefing. It's like these guys have never played ARAMs before. How was Suljin not banned? This needs to be your first ban. They banned Abathar instead, so this is just bonkers. Cassia's at 58 stacks, that's also a bit bonkers. That's actually nuts. 59 stacks this early in, that's crazy. Double checking on the damage. Cassia is now at 26,000. She's actually top damage in the game. She has surpassed Suljin at this point in time. Now again, Suljin ramps up as the game continues, but you can say the same thing obviously of Cassia with her level 1 here, so that's another one. But that could make things now really interesting. I've never seen a Cassia stack this quickly. She has so much sustain behind her, easy for her. But yeah, Suljin now, 34. Once that he's at 30 on his baseline, he gets the double swing on those Arcanite access, and this will just explode the numbers he gets with his level 7 talent. So they get all the ults that you would expect. We have Tasdingo in, Aegis is out. And for me personally, the terrifying part is really when Suljin hits the double swing. Because his auto attack is already problematic enough. But if on top of that you also have an enormous amount of stacks on his level 7, then he is gonna become just murderous. So Alexstrasza hasn't made a choice yet. There's the hook. Misses it though. Not connected. Unlucky for them. 10 versus 10. And slowly we're going off with Suljin. 1 stack away. 1 single stack, my friend. And there it is. Quest is completed. Now it's time to stack your level 7 even harder. And he gets killed! Gets blown to pieces! Dude, you have an ult! Where was the R button? And now they all have to run away. That's their only damage dealer. They have nothing else. That's your hyper carry. They're going for Garrosh, self Aegis on Aurea. You can't... Suljin just can't die like that. You have 2 supports, guys. And he has an ult. You have to survive through that. Now they're losing Auriel. That's the second one that goes down. So the blue team has hit the momentum train hard after this. And so they should. So yes, the hits are now coming in. 51 stacks. Suljin's back to business, but Cassia's at 77. In a normal game, you're actually in a pretty decent spot if you get 40 stacks around the 8-minute mark. That's like the rule of thumb. 8 minutes in a normal game, you're at 40 stacks, you're Gucci. Now we're about to hit 8 minutes, and they're at 80. They've doubled it already. So Cassia is also going a bit bananas. But Suljin will aggressively stack that level 7 talent now. He needs to make sure that he is not dying again, though. Not with this many supports behind you and your ult. So yeah, Suljin working the auto attack. Stitches is not gonna like that whatsoever as the game continues. And of course, the level 7, more hits coming in there as well. Oh boy. The king of ARAMs is starting to gain some traction. Yeah, that's a moment where you have to hit your R button. And he's still gonna die. Needs to get some stacks out of this, but is obviously going to die. So they have to retreat. Once you have a level 20 is a bit better, but that Gorge was great. Ultralis with a fantastic one. Sven might have to barrel it up. He still has the Keck, so he's fine. Damage output. Suljin is now behind. We might have to crown a queen of ARAMs here. Cassia is sitting at 55,000 damage now. All depends on how long the game lasts, but Suljin, he's now back. Coming back into the fight. So, yep, there's going to be some interesting plays now. If they can't keep Suljin alive, then they're not going to stand the prayer here. Cassia is going to keep stacking, and she is going to take the top damage and take them out. So, well, but Suljin is now on 66 stacks on his level 7. Again, he's hitting these things hard. So, I'm a little bit more worried about the baseline damage than anything else though. But I have to admit that the red team, the blue team has done a fairly decent job staying away from Suljin as much as they could. I mean, only possible to a limited extent unless you give your structures up, of course. But generally speaking, they've done pretty okay. But that level 7 talent. He's at 80 already. Cassia has surpassed 100. It's getting wild here. It's getting absolutely wild. But it is the red team pushing. When we're talking about forts getting destroyed, the blue team's fort has suffered the most. So this is still a huge problem. And again, once these forts are gone, you are missing out on your fountains. Distance to safety, distance to a fountain is going to increase, and once the keep is gone, you don't have a fountain on the map anymore, and you solely rely on your supports. Which is fine, but they are also eventually going to run out of mana. Suljin has the advantage that he's also playing with Oriel here, so it means you have a Hope Machine. Yep, 40 stacks now, nearly 100 on the Arcanite axis. There's Gorge again! And can they save Suljin this time? Has to pop his ult again, and does. And gets the big heal. Nice. Alexstrasza to the rescue here. Self-Aegis, still a big fight. Could get a kill on one of them. Good save from Garrosh, actually. Throws out Oriel, and they all survive. The fort is gone, and it helped Suljin to stack even further after he initially escaped from the battle. So, pretty darn good situation for them now. They are slightly behind in experience. The red team is trailing by half a level, and the blue team is therefore on level 16 a bit earlier. But we have now 82,000 damage for Cassia, 70,000 for Suljin. So Cassia is really bringing the pain here, and when it comes to the raw damage numbers, she has, I mean, really surpassed Suljin. Not just a couple of points, she's nearly 20,000 ahead. That's insane. It's actually crazy. Cassia's damage is bonkers. But then you have Suljin, and the impact that he's had so far overall in the game is just still bigger. And his level 7 is becoming more and more of an issue. Those Arcanite axes, they are just starting to fly around everywhere and hitting people hard. If anything, is a bit surprising that the auto attack has not done more yet. Get pushed away there for a second. The sidewall is at least up, but Garrosh is still going to fall here. Gets an Aegis to delay things a bit more. But there's another hook, and now it's a double kill. Now it's a double kill right there. So, they're trying to go for Chen. He has the Keck. Can get that out. Suljin, another quick hit here. 138 stacks, 50 on the level 1, 150 stacks for Cassia. I mean, you gotta be joking right now. Cassia is insane. Great sleep, by the way, from Anna. But Suljin is still alive. So they're trying to at least take a fort out. And as I said before, you need to take these structures out. You want to make sure that you kill your opponents, distance to safety, that you're taking this out as best as you can. Right now, Sven is getting attacked, but still survives. They have the rest of the team back up. Insane numbers. Wrong place, wrong time. And I'm really curious to see if with additional stacking, Suljin is going to hit a point where he surpasses Cassia. or if it's just not possible for him anymore to get to that point. Cassia stacking has been ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And, well, the 60 on the baseline, the auto attacks against Stitches, they're gonna hurt a lot as this continues. Stitches is their only hope, and the problem is that Stitches is also eventually gonna run out of room, because so far you could always rely on a hook, you land that, you get a gorge, and then you walk away. But once that they are pinned down at their keep, or maybe even lose that, where exactly are you gonna go? Then your hooks are going to lose a lot of that threat level that they had before. So once they're breaking through that wall and towards the keep, it's a totally different story. And he's hitting them hard though. I mean, he's going for Suljin every single time. Shen with the perfect reaction here. But how is he wiggling those hooks always around the defenders and making sure that Suljin is getting hit here? It's impressive as hell. So good moves by Ultralist. Big hooks from him. The man knows how to land a skill shot. 187 stacks now for Cassia. But it is just going one way. The tower is down. Gate is nearly destroyed. And structure after structure on the blue team side is falling. And they just don't have enough to bring this back. They are close to level 20. That's the one advantage that they have. Earlier Storm Talent. Maybe they can make a little bit of a play with it. Stitches could get interesting too. If he goes for the Hungry Stitches play. So that could be nice. And he does. Yeah, and now we have 180 stacks for Suljin. He's at 115,000. Look at the damage difference between Suljin and Cassia here, though. Massive. And Suljin is dead. Again, no ult. So they're starting to struggle on this. Madara with Cassia has gotten a nano boost. So is coming towards the opponent's structures now too. And they need this fort now. Now that they finally have a chance to push in and Suljin isn't here, this is the opportunity that you needed in order to take the fort and remove one of the fountains of your opponent. So that's the play right here. Take that one out. 224 stacks, by the way. What? That's just nasty. Like, how much higher are they going to go with this? This is insane. Suljin is on 70 stacks now on his level 1. He's barely coming back now. The fort is gone, so in structures they're now even again. But let's see. Suljin, he has his level 20. So now with level 20, his survivability is even higher than before. With everybody having Storm Talents, that's going to be big. We got the blessing of the red as well. So that's going to be huge too. Suljin gets pushed out again. Nearly 200 stacks for his level 7, by the way. Oh, look how that chunks down Zarya. Holy hell. Only hit by the Arcanite axis. He gets absolutely junked. Then again, Cassia, she is... Damn. She is a tanky girl, isn't she? Nice survivability there. There's the ult. Alright. And Suljin uses it late, is able to get out, but it starts to go one direction. It starts to flip. The entire game we've seen the blue team pinned down. Now they're doing the same thing to their opponents. 250 stacks for Cassia, and it really shows. Suljin is caught, and Suljin is dead. Alright, it seems like we have an ARAM queen. Cassia, the newly crowned, right here. 8 kills to 1. Both teams with a double support and an insane amount of sustains, including Zarya, for Team Madara. And they are turning the entire game on its head right now. Suljin is potentially about to lose this game here. With big stacks as well, but they just can't break through the defense. They have massive problems getting kills together. And now they're losing their keep, and as I said before, if you lose your keep, you lose your fountain, you don't have sustain outside of the heroes on the map. You can't just simply go to the nexus anymore. And Cassia has been ruthless. She has been defended by the entire team time and time again, and it is working out beautifully well for them now. I mean, I'm honestly impressed. I've never seen so... Like, think about it again. We are talking about like Suljin in an ARAM environment, at least on one lane map, and we have seen a single kill for the red team. 1 kill. That's all that they got. Suljin has 86 stacks on his baseline, 220 on his level 7, and they have 1 kill. That's insanity. That's absolutely bananas. Cassia is going to hit the 300 if this continues, by the way. 218,000 damage for Cassia. 218,000. That's insane. This is absolutely insane. I mean, there's some prize money on the line here. I think it's like $200, $250, something in that ballpark. But holy hell. So the red team is trying to push back now. Keep in mind, they don't have a fountain on the map anymore. There's no fountains for them any longer. And if their goal is to make the same happen to the opponent by destroying their keep. So they have to push into this. I have no idea who wins this. There's another quick hook. No Gorge follow-up. That was still in cooldown. And somebody's still working on his stack. I mean, normally I'm really more one for the auto attacks, but right now it's the Arcanite axes that do an enormous amount of damage here. The problem is just the amount of like heal that we are seeing from the blue team, and then also the shields. They're actually tanking through this. It's bonkers. Yeah, here comes the Dragon Queen. You want to push this a bit closer towards the keep and take that out. As long as they're getting Sul'jin closer to the keep, they can also use the Arcanite axes not only to try and stack it to hero damage, but also slowly whittle down the hit points of the keep itself. So that's another option that they have here. But for that, they also have to get Sul'jin a bit farther to the front, which they are now getting. Yeah, he's nearly at the 250 stacks. Cassia has surpassed the 300. 20 minutes into this game. What is happening here? That is insanity. Yeah, now the kill against Alexstrasza. Alexstrasza gone. Another hook. Sul'jin is dead again. No ult from him. And Cassia is at 320 stacks. I mean, they are going to go cross map and try and go for core. Death timer is obviously fairly low here, but this is still going to hurt a lot. Full 5-man team wipe. Sul'jin is nearly 100 stacks now on his auto attack. He's 80,000 damage behind. 80,000 damage. Think about this. The king of ARAMs has now been dethroned here. Yep, and this is game. This should be game. They're absolutely crushing it. What a performance. Team Madara, I really didn't think that they would be able to pull this off. Cassia, big surprise here. The queen of ARAMs, the newly crowned. She made it 13 kills to 1. Stitches gobbles everyone up as Team Madara takes the game and the match. GG. Well played.